I want to start at the very beginning, and Chris, I'm going to start with you. What were the conversations like? How did we decide that retiring Kevin Byard's jersey was something that needed to happen?
It's been ongoing really since he left campus. You know, he left such a mark that it was an easy conversation to have, and then his success with the Titans and our local NFL franchise and those kind of things, being in the same market, has really benefited us. And how Kevin's been able to rally and galvanize the MTSU alumni and community, and he embraces his experience at MTSU. He's one of our most prominent alums in the school, period, whether it's athletics or not. And so it was an easy conversation once we began having them. And Dr. McPhee, our school president, was all on board. And so it was just a matter of timing then, and we thought this is a great year to do it.
Coach, when it comes to retiring someone's jersey, that's a big honor, right? I mean, that's something that really means a lot to a school, to a program. Why is Kevin Byard a good candidate for having his jersey retired?
Yeah, Amy, I think it's a phenomenal honor. He'll be the second one in the history of this school, and they've been playing football for a long time. So to be one of two jerseys that have had this honor is a tremendous recognition for KB. I think you look at his overall performance, what he did at Middle Tennessee, how he performed, left with 19 career interceptions, which is a school record, one of the highest records in the history of college football. You know, so his total interceptions. So just a phenomenal. He was a phenomenal player for us, a phenomenal man, and being able to recognize him today with the retirement of his jersey, his number, that it'll never be worn again, is pretty special.
Kevin Byard's a guy who throughout his life has experienced a lot of adversity in a variety of different ways. How do you think that has contributed not only to the type of player that he is, but also the man that he is?
Yeah, I've always felt that adversity, it doesn't define you. How you handle, how you respond to the adversity that you're faced is what defines you. And there's athletes, there's people, men, women all around this world that have had adversity in their life, and he's approached it from a very mature and probably older than his years when he was younger, growing up with the adversity that he had faced and the adversity he faced as an athlete at Middle Tennessee and with the Titans and everything, that you're constantly overcoming that. And how you overcome it, you don't let circumstances define you. And just because this happened to you doesn't mean you have to be this. And he's beat adversity every time it's come at him. And that's why when I say that he was a phenomenal football player, being a phenomenal man, a husband, a father now, he meets all those criteria of being successful. And, I told John Robinson, when he came in, when Kevin was a senior going through the draft, that he's been a professional since he got here. He's shown up on time, he studies extra, he works extra, he's very focused, he's very detailed in what he wants to accomplish. And you're getting a guy that will be what you want in your locker room. And I think that's come to fruition.
How do you use a former player like that to motivate the guys on your team currently?
I think it's easy. You show examples, especially this time of the year. We started camp yesterday. NFL's been in it now for a couple weeks, and there's always something on the NFL Network or local TV here talking about a player, talking about what happened in practice, how they've done. But so you talk about those guys, but when you can say a Kevin Byard, we got other players in the NFL, you can use them as an example, guys that came through that have sat in the same chair you sat in, that are going through the same experiences that you went through. It kind of gives it a little bit more, validity, so to speak, maybe. that here's somebody that's doing exactly what you did, and look what he's doing now. And so you try to use those examples, but being a former player, whether it's KB or Tavarius Ward or Richie James or whoever we got in the NFL now, those are great examples to show your current players.
Now, you mentioned how having him be local has been such a great thing. In terms of being an ambassador for not only the athletic program, but for MTSU as a whole, what kind of an example is Kevin Byard?
He's the number one example I use. He conducts himself on the field and off the field the same way. I mean, at the highest degree of professionalism, and you see it, and you see it comes across, and it makes our alums proud, because here's one of our best products is Kevin Byard and what he's done and how he conducts himself and those kind of things. So not only all of his athletic accomplishments, which are great, but also all the off the field and his leadership and what he does for charity and the Kevin Byard Foundations and those kind of things that he's using his platforms to help others. And to me, that's the whole key to athletics and what we try to gravitate towards. And that's why we're going to hang his number forever in our stadium, and nobody will wear number 20 again.
It's been so much fun to see Kevin Byard have the ability to go back to Murfreesboro and to spend some time around his school, to the point where the basketball team even moved a game because the Titans had a playoff game and they wanted people to be able to watch Kevin. How great has it been to see the fan base stick with him for all these years?
I think it's really neat. And our fans can say they knew of Kevin Byard before a lot of metropolitan Nashville or the state of Tennessee knew him. And there were some plays that he made in college that were just unbelievable, and it just sticks in your mind. And whether they're a pick six against Troy or a punt return against Old Dominion, and some of these that you just look at and go, man, he showed that while he was in college, and it's carried over to the NFL. And I think our fans really have enjoyed watching that progression.
Do you guys have a favorite Kevin Byard moment?
Probably not one single moment stands out. One special one was when John Robinson, defensive coordinator, the head coach, all those guys came over right a week or so before the draft and talked to him, got him in a room, put him on the board, watched film, and they all came out with such, this is a guy that can help us. This is a guy that we want to coach. Just made me feel proud for him, because I saw for 5 years how hard he worked, how hard he prepared for that moment. And then to be drafted, third round, I guess it was there, the first pick of the third round, that, just the culmination of everything that he's gone through, growing up as a player, as a student athlete there at Middle Tennessee, and, what he did, how hard he worked, it was just, that was satisfying to me. I'll remember that as much as, what he did on the field.
Amy, I think that I look back and we were playing Troy at our stadium, and they're one of our rivals, and it was a big game, and we hadn't beaten Troy in maybe 4 years or so. So we hadn't beaten them in a long time, and it's a really tight game in the fourth quarter, and our best linebacker suffers some type of spinal cord injury. And there was about that 20, 30-minute dead period in the stadium as they're putting him on the board and everybody's kneeling and praying for him and those kind of things. And Craig Allen was the linebacker, and it turned out that he was okay, but we did not know that at the time. And so they carted him off on the field. Troy has the ball, and was it the next play? The very next play, Kevin has pick six and flips the game. So is that little bit what Coach Stock was talking about, where there's adversity and how you handle adversity? And he and Craig were good friends. And so to take that emotional moment and compartmentalize it and make it another moment And to me, that kind of epitomizes Kevin in my mind, how he's able to rise above the circumstance, and he's done that his whole life.
Chris Massaro, Rick Stockstill, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We're excited to celebrate Kevin Byard.
Yeah, thanks for having us.